So the way I approach ambient tracks is that I usually have a pre-ambient track in mind already, or a pretty cool loop. And what I mean by this, for example, and to make it more interesting, there's a little bit of variation or a melody in like these sections of this loop right here. Now, once you have everything in place, just highlight everything, Control Alt C, and then export it. Then you'll end up having basically everything rendered into one single file right over here. Now, I just want to say that this was not supposed to be an ambient track. It was supposed to be in its own right something else. That's why there's this bass. You usually don't want to have bass. So you can filter that out, but I'll get more into detail later on in this video. So you want to click stretch, and the next step is basically to add a fruity convolver and blur pink or blur white preset. I prefer blur pink. And this is how it sounds like now. And there you have it. You can pretty much work off of that. But there's another technique I want to show you that I like to use. And that is getting a free plugin called Pole X Stretch. Basically, you take this waveform, drag it over here, and then you want to, it usually starts with 75 FFT size. You want to push it all the way to the right. I find it to be the clearest. Basically, it will sound more preserved. And it, by default, it's 2.0. And then if you have a longer loop like this, you might want to make it like 3.5. If it was something shorter, let's say this long, you can go higher values or higher numbers. So I've already done this part. I've rendered it and I moved it over here for the video's sake. And this is how it sounds like. Remember I said that the bass was kind of a problem? What I meant by that is that when you export it and stretch it, the bass can become very unstable and wobbly. So I like to filter that out and add my own bass. And also I like to make a copy of it and basically play around with some tuning. Basically make it just add a little bit of variation, you know? You could play around and see if it fits how it sounds like, if it fits, if it's harmonically in tune. And yeah, you stack both of these and this is what we have. I also mentioned at the beginning of the video, I like to add a little bit of variation in the middle. And what I meant by that is that once you get towards like around here, you can start to hear it. And there you have it. This is a great canvas to start with. You could start adding sounds on top. For example, something like this. I'm going to play on my MIDI keyboard. Or you can also take this and that was not used by Pole X Stretch and stretch it to match the length and see if it fits as well and basically stack it on top. So let me just turn on back the fruity convolver. maybe make it something here, higher frequencies. Just keep in mind that this is pretty much a very useful tool. It just blends all the sounds together. For example, if I have something like this, and you can make ambient tracks, or I should say, like the main theme or the main background, the textured middle part of where you can work around it, just off of something simple as this. As long as you add a fruity convolver on top, it really helps a lot. So let me just load that in to show you. Blur pink. And there you have it. It's a great step to start building something off of it. I hope that helps, and please smash that like button. It really helps me out, and I'll be making more videos showing how I make my music. And thanks for watching. Bye-bye.